Okay, your yard faces northeast, north. And the grading and drainage is pretty much level across the front. It goes down that way, comes down this way, and goes down that way. What it says. We got red brick, cut stone, some processed wood type products. Rain gutters do not discharge water far enough away from the structure. This puts us on the east side. We're in front of the fence. And right here next to the foundation, okay, these pockets, that's where the cables go through. Okay, it's a post-tension cable slab foundation. This pocket is where the cable goes through. Pocket is where the cable goes through. Over here, we got a little bit of erosion beneath a great beam. Right here on the east side, but I'm kind of interested in these pockets we're talking about. Pocket and pocket. Coming over here. See the pockets? But I don't see them breaking out like this. This area is of some concern to me. It's not something that I typically see. Brickwork looks nice and uniform. Rain gutter does not divert water far enough away. We got some erosion. There are pockets. Pockets are of some concern. Some minor movement. Water can get in there. I think the water can get in there. So I think that should be sealed. We'll just leave this right here for the come back and get a still image of that. Lawn sprinkler heads are not supposed to be closer than 5 inches to the structure. In other areas, these should be painted, but when they're close to the ground, apparently they... This is our double clean out for our sewer. And our sewer cap is missing off of this one. It looks like it was designed to have a pop-off cap. Maybe they had some problems with it. And this cap is broken. You don't usually see a pop-off cap unless there's some extenuating circumstances. Under most conditions, kind of hard to explain. Under most conditions, they'd both be sealed up. A little bit of movement right there. A little bit of movement at the cornice. Rain gutter does not divert water far enough away. Storm doors are beyond the scope of this inspection, but this one seems like it's in pretty good shape. I'm going to go around here. You know what I'm not seeing? Oh, there it is. See these? These are weep holes. Brick is a very good building material. This home can burn down. You can reuse the brick. It's also a great insulator for like sound and heat. Alright. But a characteristic of brick is that it's very porous. It allows the water to go through. And we know that. We build architecture is regional. We use bricks in this region. We know that brick is porous, that the mortar is porous. So we build it with drainage planes behind it. And most of the time, the only thing that comes out of these weep holes is vapor. You might see some moisture come out during an event. I hope you don't, but you might. But most of the time, it's vapor. But anytime, the reason why we have these weep holes is this because that's where the drainage plane stops at the foundation perimeter. When we come over here, now we've interrupted the drainage plane with these metal lintels. And so above our windows that have metal lintels, we're supposed to have weep holes. You'll notice we have a semicircular window here of this skylight up here, this transom light, and it doesn't have a weep hole, and they don't have a drainage. The drainage plane goes to the side. Water doesn't collect. You don't put weep holes above arches. You just put them above the lintels. Anytime the drainage plane is compromised, broken. And this home is built, these kind of covers were acceptable for your electrical receptacle outlets. Okay, but by today's standards, what we would have here is what's known as in use. The power, we do. That GFCI, we do. we'd have in-use receptacles. See, using that, we're kind of bringing it up a little bit, and it's kind of like a bubble cover. So that way you can plug in your Christmas decorations, and then put the cover over, and the water wouldn't get to them like that. Along our screens have all had some better days. The screen material's very worn. Okay. And then we can also see we got double pane metal frame windows, and I see the stripes inside of there. I know that the vapor barrier has been compromised in these windows. We do not have lintels over these windows. Okay, the vapor barrier is compromised. You don't lose any security. Okay, you don't lose any efficiency. Some people say you won't be able to measure any efficiency. What it is it's ugly. The seal is broken. The Texas Real Estate Commission considers that the seal is broken. That's a deficiency. I agree with them. So is it an aesthetic issue? You bet it is an aesthetic issue. But should it something that needs to be taken care of? I mean, that might be a business decision. It might be a business decision. Coming along here, when we have our step flashing like this, it's supposed to be bent in towards the structure and sealed better. And coming across here, and we come down here, we see our step flashing. It's not bent towards it. It's not sealed better. And there should be kick-out flashing right there. A flashing that kicks the water back into the rain gutter. And then above here, you see the rain gutter, the downspout, drops water directly onto the roof cover. Now, our roofs only last about 14 years in this part of the country. I get that. And it would be ugly to put a downspout that goes from that hole down to this rain gutter. So that's curb appeal. I get that too. I get that I probably wouldn't do anything about it personally. But professionally, I'm supposed to tell you that that's going to cause premature wear. And so I'll note it as a deficiency. We have the whole water drain on the roof. Step flashing not sealed. We're missing our kick-out flashing. And this rain gutter, the butt end is supposed to be at least an inch away from the brickwork. So it's supposed to be an inch gap there. You're supposed to have kick-out flashing there, and that's supposed to be sealed to take all the water, because brick is porous. It soaks water. And again, we've got our weep holes here where we're supposed to have them. Now right here, what we have is, some people call those corner pops. It's a shrinkage crack. Call it what you will. It's in the span of a hand. I don't know whose hand. It goes back in this direction. It's nothing. It doesn't have anything to do with the foundation. It doesn't have anything to do with the foundation performance. Okay? Concrete gets hard, shrinks, cracks. There it is. Brick and concrete expand and contract at different rates. The flashing never goes to the ends. Pressure comes out at the corner and it cracks. Now, if that's conducive to wood destroying insects, that's going to make the termite report, because termites can go up inside that crack, go inside your house unnoticed. So you need to be made aware of that. If that corner falls out and you start losing brick, at that point you may want to fix that for that reason and seal it all up to hold your brick. If that doesn't hold your house, and that's not technically your foundation. If we find some more problems with the foundation, we'll start correlating and doing a little forensic experiments and do those kinds of things. But as it is, that corner pop is pretty much nil or nothing, unless we're talking about termite. Here's another one right over here. There's another one right over here. Then we got some more normal stair-step cracks between the brick and mortar. Excuse me, between the masonry and the mortar right there on the corner. That should just be sealed. That's pretty much normal. You know, these aren't your walls. These are your exterior wall cladding. Rain gutter doesn't divert water far enough away. Moving on along. This is for your air conditioning. That's your secondary drain line, okay? Your safety pan line. When that's leaking, you know you have a problem. It's put in front of the window so that if it's leaking, you can look outside the window and know that you have a problem. And once you know that you have a problem, you know that you need to get it serviced, because once it quits leaking out of here, because the reason why this pipe is leaking is because another pipe got clogged. Once this pipe becomes clogged, it's going to go through your ceiling. So it's important to know. This is your closed dryer vent. You come over here, there's a condensing unit. There's your closed dryer vent right there. Kind of look up. You kind of pay attention to that guy every once in a while. Okay, if it starts looking clogged, it is clogged. It needs to be cleaned once a year anyway, regardless. But, you know, just look up. Just look up every once in a while. This is your condensing unit. We're going to have a whole video about that. Okay, but it needs to be sealed. So what does sealant do? It shrinks. It's hard, shrinks, pulls away. Okay. This is your water heater and your water heater safety pan drain pipe. And the drain pipe is okay. The drain pan pipe is okay up to 24 inches. But that's the wrong type of piping. And on the water heater temperature pressure relief valve drain, it's not supposed to be higher than 6 inches. Let's talk about an in-use cover over on the front porch. This is what an in-use cover looks like. Got some erosion along here on this side of the garage, and then some of our pockets are popping a little bit, but not like the other side. There's a difference. There's a difference between this side and the other side. Notice that. There's our lawn sprinkler. Okay, these are the control wires. This is the conduit for the control wires. It's kind of messed up, man. It's gonna affect your lawn sprinkler system here sooner or later. You're gonna be cutting those wires out, replacing them, splicing them, trying to get them going. It needs to be serviced. One thing I haven't noticed over here, and maybe it's because we've got a turn. Okay, we got a little bit of a bend on the structure right here. And so let's just pretend like that makes a makeshift control joint. You know, but this is a control joint. Because we expect this much brick to move. Okay, but I haven't seen any control joints on this structure. I'll bring my level over here after I take the picture around the corner. Let's see how this is working. But it looks like it's draining. Just not draining far enough away. Metal panel, garage overhead door. 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. The first one's the closest. Just like shingles. First row of bricks, second row, third row, fourth row. First row of shingles, steps, panels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything starts at the bottom and works its way up. Let's come on out here for a moment. This is your gas meter going to the house. Okay. Parallel is on, perpendicular is off. Here we are on the patio. And moving on along. When you see dirty vents like this, okay, these are called soffit vents. And when they're dirty like this, that is a symptom, that's a clue, okay, that the attic is not ventilated properly. We don't have a protective cover over here. Our siding is supposed to be 2 inches up off of the sidewalk, okay, because the water from the sidewalk on the concrete, capillary action, it can leach up inside the wood and cause it to fail prematurely. Now, this house has been here for 24 years, and this siding has held up probably longer than anybody expected it to, and it's still holding up pretty good. We do not have our weep holes up there. So, I mean, yes, it's scratched up a little bit, it's beat up a little bit, it's too close to the ground. We can complain about it, but we also have to admire the fact that it's hung out a little bit. We got a little bit of a crack between the mortar and the soldier brick up there. Over here, this is an ant bed. Ant beds are soft. Termite beds are, and I can see the ants crawling around on it. Now, the best thing you can do for this ant bed is get a granular ant bait treatment. It'll last for about 90 days. It'll take about 10 days to take in effect. It doesn't happen immediately, but it's really your best bet. You can get a commercial company to come in and give you a 1-year warranty on something like that. The product they have on their shelves lasts about 6 months, at least twice as much as that. But they'll charge you enough so that they can come back and you feel like you got yourself a good deal. So, and that perpetuates the business, and that keeps the industry going. But if you're, a turnkey type of person, you're hands off, maybe you want a pest control company. It's a good deal, I mean, for a lot of people. But, if you're hands on, a granular ant bait treatment is important is spreading it. Now, if you knock this ant bed down, okay, these critters are engineered, okay, through survival, okay, they've evolved, that they will sense distress because you created pressure on their home, their domicile. They sense the stress, and they will send out 3 nymphs out to establish 3 more colonies. So you'll keep this original colony, and you have 3 additional colonies every time you disturb an ant bed like that. And they just keep spreading and spreading and spreading. Maybe a granular ant bait treatment and a little bit of patience isn't such a bad deal. It's not such a bad deal. This is where the gas enters the house. It's wrapped with tape right here. This is your other main disconnect, and like the other one, on, perpendiculars off. And it's okay to use a wrench on this. On water we don't expect to, but by today's standards, no. And the gas line isn't bonded as it goes into the house, which is not required to be. Not required to be. It's just good information. I would recommend painting all this post right here. All along our freeze boards, got a little bit of movement right there. We've got a control joint right there. One control joint on the whole house. How about that? And what does this do? It shrinks. It pulls away from the bricks. So every year or so you want to come check that. Check your control joint. Can't say you don't have one though. Can't say that. Water's too close to get into the house. We're missing the screen.